Gentlemen, welcome to Masculine Charisma. I'm your coach, Faisal, and today I'm going to be looking at some of the misleading information out there that really confuses a lot of men, especially nice guys who finish last with women. Now, this confusion causes a lot of guys to go off the track and then not build attraction or chemistry. So when a woman goes on a date with him, she says, I don't feel anything for him. I don't feel any chemistry. The reason is that the guys who don't create chemistry are usually the ones who are not triggering all the biological markers that a woman needs to feel in order to feel attraction. So here's some misguidance going on here. So when I was young, I used to get a lot of advice from women as because I was surrounded by a lot of women, and women would tell me all the things that would attract guys. But the problem was when I observed them, they were going for all the guys that were opposite of what they were saying. So they were saying, oh, you want a guy who's really kind, loving, sensitive. And I'm thinking, well, I tick all of those boxes, but why am I the one that's being ignored? Why am I the one that's being friend zoned? And I work with a lot of guys who say exactly the same thing. They share the same story. Well, I'm kind, I'm loving, I'm generous, I'm a good person. I have my flaws, but I'm a good person. But instead, she's going after for the jerk. She's going after for the guy who isn't kind, and it doesn't make sense. Here's the reason why. So let's explore this. So in this study, it says 75% of women prefer the dad bod over abs. Where was this study done? How was this study done? Now, where were the biases in this study? Now, from my experience, women will say sometimes there's a phenomenon. It's like we will say things, but our preferential kind of choices will be different to what we say, and this is applies to both men and women. So there was some research done. I don't have the research off by heart. So what we said we wanted, so this was done through marketing, and what people actually chose was different. And marketing is a great indicator. This is how I believe the pickup artists became really popular and why it become effective when it came to creating sexual attraction is because they used a lot of marketing kind of tactics in order to attract women, because marketing again is 80% consumers are women. So let's have a look at break this down. So 75% dad bods, that is untrue. I mean, if you look at indicators of a strong masculine man, he usually would be in shape. If he's overweight, out of shape, and he's got nothing else going for him, he's going to be ignored. I mean, if you went into a bar or a club and you saw this guy was completely out of shape and he had nothing else going for him. Now, there are some men who are out of shape, have a big beer belly, but do have the goal. So what else have they got going for him? Usually he would have high status. So he would be socially recognized. Maybe he's a CEO of a company. Maybe he has some sort of power and wealth and status in some place that would override his body type. So he might be a strong character. He might be very assertive, bold, daring, funny. So all of those characteristics will override the guy. But at the initial first impression, the charismatic kind of first impression, his appearance makes a difference. Everybody notices his appearance. If his appearance is really, say, off-putting, it will close her down. Okay, unless he can really open her up through strong um, characteristics, she's not going to give him that opportunity. So, guys, dad bods is not the way to go, because it signals that you are going to be out of shape. You are out of shape, but you're going to be out of control in other aspects of your life. So she's thinking, if he's putting on weight, if he has no self-control around food, where else does he not have this self-control? And again, here's another aspect is this author. So Sacha Baron Cohen, also known as Ali G, has got into shape. I mean, this guy, look at him. He looks so ripped. And he's nearly, 50 something? So the actor and comedian has revealed a new buff look after splitting from Isla Fisher. But what's wrong with the dad bod? Sacha Baron Cohen doesn't realize in his midlife post-divorce body is repellent to most women. I don't think she actually understands sexual attraction. And I think she's actually projecting a lot of insecurities because, again, if you look at her, she doesn't look like one of the, I would say, very attractive women, in my opinion. And so therefore, she's probably projecting a lot of shit that actually that is unattractive to women. Now, some research has also been done. Again, I'm very cautious about research, but if you asked most women, especially when they're going through their menstrual cycle, is what kind of guy they will choose. Research shows that the guys who are more masculine, maybe some facial hair, a bit more rough, they tend to choose those kind of guys. And other times they will choose more sensitive kind of guys. So that kind of varies. Now, if you had a choice between this guy who's completely ripped and in shape versus somebody who's completely out of shape, I am guessing if everything else was even, their characteristics were even, women would always go, right? Most of them would go for the guy who's in shape because it will signal a lot more healthy kind of aspects to him. So there's going to be longevity in his life. He's going to be more mobile. So he's going to be more active with the kids, somebody who's out of weight, so out of shape. So women don't always communicate the best sexual attraction advice. So, guys, stop listening to a lot of advice from mummy kind of advice because it skips the attraction phase. So, yes, they will love a guy who's kind, who's loving, who's generous, who's smart, intelligent, respectful. From the guy they're attracted to. So let me repeat that guy. They want all those things from the guy they're attracted to. Now, if you observe most women, and I'm not saying all women do this, some women are very mature. They go beyond their natural instinct of biological needs and they select good guys based on their good characteristics, right? So women will choose based on good characteristics. But you will see that women who are at the ego level, quite superficial, they will select guys who are more selecting on the surface level. So the surface sexual attraction level would be that he's got to be high status, he's got to be alpha male, and she'll be looking out for those clues, not the deeper characteristic clues. And again, the guy will be doing the same thing. I've helped guys, coached guys who've selected women just based on their looks, right? So their looks, that's how he selected. So one guy was selected and he's like, she's amazing, she's hot, she's great in bed, but she's not generous, she's really moody. She, he believes that she plays around. And even though she plays around, he still tolerates disrespect. He still tolerates her bad behavior. So guys, when you select at that level and you stuck at that level, you don't go beyond superficial level, both men and women. So women are choosing the bad boys, the guys are choosing the bimbo type of women. If you don't select past that, you are going to create a lot more problems for yourself. And most characteristics, and as I'm getting older, I'm realizing that my selection process really needed to improve, and I'm improving this selection process. So I'm integrating the selection process. So what that means is that I'm selecting someone that I am attracted to. So it's not to say that I'm not attracted to them. So I'm choosing someone. She doesn't have to be a 10. She doesn't have to be the most amazing, attractive woman. She has to be attractive for me. And then she also has to bring in other aspects that are important for me. So now as I'm getting older, there's other things that are important for me. So for example, I'd be screening for things like, what's her sleep pattern like? What's her outlook on life? Is she quite uptight or is she quite relaxed about life? Does she like to study about life and really creative things, amazing things, or is she just watching mindless drama on TV that's just numbing her mind? Is she addicted to her phone? Does she have phone separation anxiety? Or does she need her phone all the time? What's her friends like? What's her family like? How do they influence her? What kind of influences do they give? So these are all things that I'm now taking into account. I wish I had done earlier on, But now you always pay the price when you don't take the time to learn things beyond the superficial level. Okay. So, guys, first of all, stop being misleaded by women, by a lot of women who don't understand sexual attraction at a primary level. And again, it's not just women, there are plenty of men who don't understand this. Hence why they're coming to me and saying, I can't create attraction because you guys are following the wrong template. You need to be following the masculine template. And then the second phase is going deeper with your character. If you guys are stuck with this, if you want to be more confident, more charismatic in the dating process, on your dates, and also in life, check out my website, masculine.co. This is where I help guys to really heal the 5 masculine fractures, which is ruining their life. If you want to find out more, check out my website. See you on the next episode.